How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to this channel. Today we are on the next session of Devlogs. We are working on our game called Lurking in Fear. We've done a lot of updates since the last video, and the first thing we started off with is item creation. Basically, we just went through and we created a bunch of children of the main parent. We changed their names and the values for health, and we got all that stuff working. There's a lot more behind the scenes of actually how it all works, but I'm not trying to go through all that right now. There's just a lot to go through with that. And then after that, we kind of just basically implemented that into all the chests. So as we go along through each devlog, as we go along through everything that we do, we will slowly be adding more items to collect. We have collectible items. We have, of course, the healing items, the food items, and things like that. We will be adding more variants later on down the road as we continue. But as of right now, there's only just a handful. And I think I showed in the last episode that we were having some issues with the chest spawning and everything. We had to set everything back up because I actually ended up removing half the things that, kind of work. But we went ahead and went back in. We redid everything. We re-added a bunch of new health items along with some of the old health items to the actual chest, along with, of course, the spawning of the ammo, the spawning of the jump scare stuff, which is the zombies. Those ones are still a little broken, but we still do have it inside the chest. So you get I think it's like a 10% chance of a jump scare that does pop out when you do open the chest. So just look out for that. Warning, there is jump scares in the game. But of course, there are different variants. As I talked about last time, there are different variants of chests. You have the basic chest, which gives you usually pistols, pistol ammo, and then very low amounts of healing items, I guess you could say. But the items you do get don't give you very much healing. So, I mean, it's a very good balance system. Of course, you got your grates, which is like in the middle. It gives you anywhere between low to medium health items, along with medium to low or medium to high type of rounds, like high caliber rounds of assault rifles, shotguns, and pistols. It's a mixture, but you get more of the lower caliber rounds and occasionally some higher caliber rounds, along with more healing items, more quantity of them, and higher healing items that heal your health a lot more. And then of course we got the epics, which gives you high caliber rounds. You get your assault rifles and your snipers more often. You still can get all of those from the other chests, but they very low possibility. But you get more of a chance of getting the assault rifle and the shotguns and snipers, of course, with more ammo and extremely high rates of better spawning of healing items or items that you can use to create healing items. And of course, we showed off in the last one too, of course, how we did the zombies spawning the items after they're killed. So of course they have a lootable system. This is a lootable system, kind of like Minecraft. That's how I'm thinking about it. Is whenever you kill an entity or an enemy, they'll drop something on the ground and you can pick it up. If you don't, then it just kind of sits there. I might have a timer on it later on to make it disappear, but right now it's kind of like that system. There will not be any inventory system that you can go up to and click on the enemy after you kill it to open it up and loot. Everything that it has on it or has a chance of spawning will just drop to the ground, and then the enemy's body will disappear after, I think it was 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Something of that matter. But we did rework a bunch of that stuff, of course, like we did with the chest, where we added all the newer items that we've implemented into the game, and all the changes that we did to the older items. Those have been implemented in there too. And of course, it is random, so every time you kill them, it has a chance of spawning different types of ammo. Right now, it only drops ammo. I felt like it could be kind of to be able to pick food up off of a dying, rotting corpse that was a zombie. I wouldn't want to eat that. So of course, we're just going with the ammo that's pickable, or collectible from the zombies. That is going to be its loot system for now. We might change that later on, but as of right now, that's how it is, and that's how it's going to stay for now. And the part that I'm most excited about is a new feature that we actually just added into the game. We did all of this live. We actually did have a help from a person that was in my stream talking with me. They helped me figure this out too. It is a crafting system. So we finally have added a single item you can craft. It is a very easily replicated system. I can duplicate it, of course, and have a whole list of things that you can craft. But we do have a crafting system. As of right now, there's just images to show you the 2 items that you need to craft this other item. And then of course the button is grayed out if it doesn't have it in the inventory, or if the player doesn't even have the item in their inventory, it is grayed out. The moment they have the item in their inventory, of course, the button will show back up. You can click it, but there is a bug. Right now, I can't figure out how to kind of like weave my way into the inventory system and add the item directly into the inventory system. So right now, it just spawns an actor or the item, on the ground in front or around the player, and you got to get out of the inventory system, look down, and pick it up. It's very annoying, and I understand that. We will try to figure out how to add that directly into the inventory. But for right now, that's how it works. There's only one item right now, too, and of course, it is the med kit, which is crafted from a medical herb, which is something you can find in the world or inside of a chest, and of course, the alcohol. So you kind of mix the two, and I don't understand it. I'm just saying, it wouldn't make any sense to mix those two things to make a med kit, but that's how it is right now. Now, this right here is probably one of my favorite things that I've created in a while. Now, I did follow a tutorial on this, but of course, I changed a lot of it based on how it worked, basically putting it the way I want it. There is a quest system from Gorka Games. You guys never heard of Gorka Games. Have you lived under a rock? He was one of the best content creators when it comes to Unreal Engine. I've learned a lot from his videos, of course. He shows how to do a lot of stuff, but all around just really good at what he does. So I went and looked up a bunch of quest system stuff. I've watched hundreds of videos trying to figure out which one I want, and I finally came down to saying that I want to use the one that Gorka made. I went through the whole system. We finally got it to the base workings of how I want the quest system to work. Of course, you find the item, or you find the quest inside of the quest giver. You click select quest, and then it puts a quest dialogue thing up on your screen to tell you what your quest is and what your objectives are. We implemented all that and got the base version of the quest working, and then later on, I changed it all up. We have multiple different types of quests that we have inside the game. We have locational quest, item pickup quest, chest looting quest, and killing an enemy quest. Now, with the UI and everything on all of this stuff, things are slowly changing. I've changed it multiple times. Nothing crazy, just like simple small changes here and there. How much gapping I want between each word or each line of things, or where things are even just located at. So things will actually be changing over time. If I can find somebody that's willing to help with UI stuff, UI changes and everything else, I might go through and redo a bunch of stuff. But the UI with the quest and everything as of right now are going to be essentially the same. Now for my favorite part of all this is fixing the quest system. This one right here was a pain in the butt because I tried by myself. But I reached out to one of my good friends, Gorka Games, the one that actually made the quest system. I reached out to him and I was like, listen, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. And so he was like, all right, we'll jump into a call with me and we will get it figured out. Let's hear what he has to say.
What's up, guys? I'm Gorka Games and I teach people how to create games using Unreal Engine 5. So in this case, Dylan wanted to remove a quest from the quest giver's list once you complete it. So what we simply did was make sure to remove that specific quest from the quests array. Therefore, the next time that you go up into the quest giver, it will not spawn that specific quest because it's not in the array anymore. And an array is simply a list of objects. In this case, it was a list of quests to add. Then Dylan also wanted to make sure that some actors in the level, which are essentially objects, would only appear once you go ahead and select that quest. So we simply had a reference to that specific actor, and with an interface function, just enabled or disabled that actor.
It was super awesome to have Gorka being a part of, basically being a part of my game. I've watched loads of his tutorials. I've learned so much in the last year and a half, actually going on about 2 years. I've learned so much about game development. I know it doesn't really look like it because I don't have too much to show for it. I've not released any games or nothing like that, but there's so much I've learned from Gorka because of the type of tutorials that he makes. So the fact that he's actually here helping me, he's allowing himself to get on calls with me and just working with my game and trying to help me through everything. It was honestly amazing. So Gorka, thank you so much for the help. I would not have been able to figure that part out by myself because I don't know arrays yet. I'm still having to learn how to use arrays. Arrays are very confusing to me. So thank you so much about that. But I do want to share something that we've done on how we made some of this stuff work, essentially. On some of the items that we have, where we want it to disappear and reappear based off of the quest being selected or not, we have a boolean that's set inside of the event begin play on the master item. So the master item is the thing that we've used to create parents or to create children across multiple different things. So every item that we have in the game is a child of the master item. So every healing item, every collectible item, every food item, everything is a child of that one parent. So we set up all the logic inside of that parent. It's basically all running off of a blueprint stating, hey, should the item be hidden? And it's a true or false Boolean, of course. If the Boolean shows up to be false, which it basically is on default, should it be hidden? False. It shouldn't be hidden. All right, well, go ahead and play it. Go ahead and show it on event begin play when we play. And whenever you open up a chest and it spawns the item on the ground, that technically counts as an event begin play. That's when the beginning of the item starts. So it automatically will show the item. But then I have a second set of Booleans that also works against the exclamation point above the items, saying should exclamation point be shown, and it's defaulted to be no also. But then whenever you actually go ahead and have an item pre-placed on the ground but not visible, of course you switch the Boolean around saying, hey, don't show it instead on event begin play, then it won't be seen. But you can still have the item in the world. It's still there, but you cannot see it. You cannot interact with it because it's not visible. And then I have the exclamation points Boolean be flipped around too. Hey, should exclamation point be visible? True. But the exclamation point won't be visible until the item is going to be visible. Maybe a little confusing, I know. But then when you select a actual quest, it finds the reference of that item in the world because the item is still there in the world. It's just not visible. It finds that reference in the world that we select and we put it in to the quest, and then it takes the Booleans and everything and flip-flops them. It says, all right, hey, now it's time to make this visible. It makes it visible in game. But since the exclamation point Boolean was already visible, now everything is visible. And there's an exclamation point above the actual item itself, which tells you it's part of the quest. And of course, the code runs every time you select the item or you pick it up or whatever you're doing. It's just so cool how all of it works. And now one of my most favorite parts, probably of this in general. We have a dialogue system. You guys are probably going to see this and be like, holy crap, what did you do? Why did you do it that way? You're probably going to want to stab me in my back because I'm like, you dumbass. I know, I get it, okay? It is not a most professional dialogue system ever. I don't want to spend $300 on a dialogue system either. I don't think this game is going to make me any money, so I'm not trying to put too much money into it. So I decided to make one from scratch. I basically have a pop-up that has words on it, essentially. And the pop-up is always going to be there. It's always going to be the same, but the words inside of it are different. And instead of using an array, like I said, because I don't know how to use arrays, I just made individual hard-coded in versions of every single piece of dialogue. And it took me almost 2 days just to write out and set up every individual line. Everything is controlled by Booleans and different, things that happen inside of the game. Off of the interaction system, when you first interact with the quest giver, it asks different Boolean questions. So the very first one is, have we talked before? If you've ever talked to the quest giver before, that will be true. So it'll go on to the next section of dialogue, and then it will have a random session from the dialogue to choose from. If it's false, it has another random session of dialogue that's all randomized that will pop up saying, hey, person, thank you for trusting us, type of thing. Thank you for coming over here to talk to us. We've never talked before, so let's get on into this. I have quests for you. Here's some quest lists. Choose one and get going. And then you do it. But if you have talked before, like I said, it goes to the next thing. And then the next one is actually another Boolean question. So after it says, yes, they've talked before, it jumps over and says, okay, well then have they completed a quest before? Okay, no, they haven't. Okay, it goes to the next one and asks, okay, have they selected a quest? Do they have a quest right this second? If it is yes, it goes up to another dialogue system saying, hey, complete your quest first and then come back. If it says no, they haven't had a quest and they do not have a quest right now, it says, okay, it runs another session of dialogue, all randomized, by the way, 10 different options for every different option. And it says, okay, you do not have a quest, but we have talked before. Now go ahead and select your quest. If you open up the quest system where you see the list of quests, but you hit the back button to get out of it and you close down the quest giver and walk away, but then you come back, then it asks another question. It also asks a question throughout all the code. Have they opened the quest giver before but didn't select a quest? Yeah, that's true. Okay, so that tells them, hey, we've talked before, but you didn't select a quest. Go ahead and select one now and we will get busy. There's so many different variants that I have in here that doesn't look like much, and it really is a mess. But there's multiple different Booleans, multiple different questions, multiple different ways of things to go. And it's all custom. Now, I followed the base original dialogue pop-up from someone. I think it might have been Gorka. It might have been somebody, I don't know. But they showed a very simple, like 5-minute video how to do a simple dialogue pop-up where they ask one question and then it pops up on the screen. Then it disappears and then it continues with whatever you're trying to do. I took that little 5-minute system and expanded on it and made it with different branches, different questions, different yes or no things, and 10 different options of dialogue based on every single true or false question. So on your first true or false question, you got 2 different options, yes or no. On that no, you have 10 different options of dialogue to pop up. On that yes, it goes to the next session, and then there's 2 more sets of 10 different answers that you can get out of it. It's very complicated. I probably should have done it a different way, but it works. And I'm going to leave it that way because there's no point in changing something if it works. At least until I can possibly ever save up the money to spend $300 on a dialogue system. Now, I'm not mad that it's $300. I understand that the dialogue system is amazing. I've done so many different researches. I've watched so many different videos on it. It is an amazing dialogue system, but I don't have $300 to spend on that dialogue system. And the funny thing is, as I was working on this, I think I just got it done whenever me and Gorka actually started talking about removing the quest systems and removing the quest from the systems in the list. And I actually showed him the dialogue system, and he thought I was crazy, but he also thought it was cool as can be. So that right there is like already a grade A thing. Like one of the best Unreal Engine teachers on YouTube has complimented something that I did by myself and that I customized by myself. That is a compliment. So that is amazing. But I think that's all we really have here. I mean, we had some issues along the way, of course. I don't know how to use blueprint interfaces just yet. I had to learn how to use those to work with the dialogue system and the quest giver. That's how all this basically works. The Booleans are being asked questions, of course, through the blueprint interface, and they're being switched on the interface so it can be spread apart and spread across multiple different blueprints. Very difficult crap. But I think that's all we have for this devlog. Of course, I will be making another one. I'm still actively working on this. It's taking me forever. But once again, if you guys did enjoy this one and you want to see me do some of this stuff live, I do play video games on my Twitch. I play Minecraft and a bunch of other stuff too. But I also do game development on my streams. And it's all about this game here. So if you want to see any of the gaming, if you want to see any of the reaction stuff, if you want to see literally anything like game development, come check out the Twitch. And I also do have a Discord where we have some people in it, not a bunch, but we do have some people in it. And I actually have a session in there where I'm trying to figure out who all wants to play this when it comes out to being a demo. And I have a separate private area inside of my Discord where if you guys do want to play this game, I'll add you guys to that list. We also have a game update section inside of my Discord where you can go through and see all the updates that we're doing. I just recently added it. I'm just recently started updating it. So if you guys want to check out that too, everything should be down below. But without further ado, thank you guys for watching this game devlog, and let me know what you guys think down below. And I will see you guys in the next devlog. Thank you guys for watching.